Hello, everyone. My name is Damon Mason, and welcome back to DM9 Productions. I'm currently still in my second titled story, which is called Becoming a Fighting Wildcat, which is a story about how and why I left my hometown high school in LaPlace, Louisiana, St. John the Baptist Parish, East St. John High School, to attend Destrehan High School in Destrehan, Louisiana. But really, the story is more about my experiences at Destrehan High School. And this is episode number 2, which is entitled A True Culture, Culture Shock. But before I go any further, let me please say that the music that you might be hearing in the background is, I do not own the rights to that music, but I do love the music. And it sets the tone for my story for today. So guys, I hope you enjoy the information that I'm going to share right now. Once again, Becoming a Fighting Wildcat, episode number 2, A True Culture Shock. Now, so guys, I'm going to put it this way. It's kind of fitting because we're at the beginning of the high the school year. And I love to reminisce, and it's going back on my high school days at Destrehan High School. But the reason why I call it the reason why I have entitled it A True Culture Shock, because like everything in life that revolves around success, people tend to look at the success part and not realize or understand or focus on or understand the trials and tribulations that you have to go through to reach that goal. It's no different. It's no different when you're changing a high school, which is still relevant today because a lot of people are leaving high schools, especially in St. John Parish. So anyway, a true culture shock. Going to Destrehan High School, and I think I shared a little bit about my experiences in episode 1. Was really more about my freshman year on the football team and having to sit out because I transferred from one high school to another. Well, I guess you can say, as I would call it, I was more of just a real student because I was not allowed to play sports. I had to go to court, as I said before, to get a legal guardian and everything. So now just imagining me or your son or your daughter, but imagine your child walking into the high school for the first time, and my parents preached something to me all the days of my youth, all the way up until college. First impression is the best impression. So I can remember going to Destrehan High School, first day of school, had on some nice khakis, had on a nice button-up shirt, which I couldn't stand wearing button-up shirts, and they even had on some penny loafers with the pennies in it. So my mom was more like, you want to set the tone, you want to make a good impression. Now, granted, I had already been practicing with the football team throughout the summer, so I had to make a name with myself with the football players somewhat, but more so the football coaches. So that first year as a freshman, 1988 to be exact, if I'm not mistaken, was again a true shocking experience. And before I start to get more details, it's very ironic because today we still deal with a white and black society, even though there's more than the whites and blacks in our society, but we still deal with racism. We still deal with favoritism, and it was no different back in 1988. You had a lot of people in St. John Parish was telling me a lot of negative things. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a girlfriend. I broke up with my girlfriend. Well, we broke up because I transferred to another high school. People was lying on me, talking about I was messing with other girls. And I got into a few fights because I went to Destrehan High School. And the ironic thing about that was, between St. John Parish and St. Charles Parish, that's when I can say, quote unquote, there was at beef, not war, because we all know what war is, but there was at beef. The young black boys in St. John Parish didn't like the black boys in St. Charles Parish. And of course it wasn't everyone, but I was friends with a lot of the guys in St. John Parish who did not like a lot of guys in St. Charles Parish. But now I'm going to high school in St. Charles Parish, and so I'm right in the middle of things where some of the guys in St. Charles Parish didn't like me, and some of the guys in St. John Parish didn't like the fact that I left to go to high school in St. Charles Parish. So again, a true culture shock, because as as black people, or young black boy, or black race, we talk about whites, and not everybody, but we talk about whites in the society. But a lot of my negative experiences at Destrehan High School, the school that I love to this day, revolved around black individuals. I dealt with a lot. Um, and I never had, I had no idea how, I still don't know how I was going to tell the story. So I'm just going to tell it as it comes to my mind and comes to my heart. And again, I just got to keep saying it was a true culture shock, because in St. Charles Parish, Destrehan High School is located in an area that's very upscale, a place, in a place where we call is Ormond Boulevard, very upscale houses and everything. And I was shocked to see so many blacks at the school. I mean, I don't know why, but keep in mind, I'm a young kid, so a lot of not all of them, but a lot of young black females liked me, so to speak. I was just a new face. I was a new face, and again, I was trying to make a first impression. But that was not my intention. My intention was not to have. I didn't leave my high school to go to another high school to look for a girlfriend. I already had one, even though we broke up. But I was trying to put myself in a position to get a better opportunity at an athletic scholarship. So I wanted to stay focused on why I was there. Keep in mind, I'm a freshman. And a few of the black boys didn't like me because I was from St. John Parish, and because of some of the girls, I guess, that they liked, or some of the girls that was already their girlfriends was liking this new kid who transferred from East St. John High School. So again, it was a true cultural shock for me. So every day, and of course, I'm not gonna tell y'all the entire story, and I'm gonna keep this to 15 minutes max, but there were times where, first of all, I was not the only kid from St. John Parish. All right, you had Nikhil Mitchell, who I mentioned in episode 1, who was in my class, a close friend of mine since we was in kindergarten. But then we had people like Vance Jones, Derek Dewey, Hubba. I can't remember Hubba last name, and Diedrich August. Nope, Diedrich Coleman from Park Place. So there was a couple guys who made me felt at home because they were from LaPlace, just like I was. In that freshman year, my freshman year of 1988. But the thing, as my cousin Vance would say, the difference between Damon Mason and everybody else from LaPlace was that Damon was playing football. I was on the football team, even though I had to sit out. I had to be to practice every day. I had to, as I said, episode 1, and all the standards and expectations that went to the entire football team fell upon me. So they held me accountable, regardless if I played or didn't play. I had to be at every practice and do everything the way they wanted me to. So, and we experienced things, man. We experienced things like whenever they called us to the office, they would always call us with all the boys from LaPlace, please report to the office, or all the boys from St. John Parish, please report to the office. So that's how we was stereotyped, And I became cool friends with some of the guys who wanted to fight my friends, who wanted to fight my cousin Kurt. Y'all know Kurt. I have to say his last name. If you know when I say Kurt, you know what I'm talking about. So, I had a lot of friends who are still my friends today. As I said, was at beef with these guys who I'm now going to high school with. And these guys started to become my friends, so to speak, because they saw me every day and they treated me, hey, and I gotta give a shout out to some of them guys, man, because to me to this day, they're still some of the coolest cats I met. Cool in how they treated me, but just cool how they their demeanor. Yeah, Narco had their clique, Sort P had their clique, but the most infamous clique for me was St. Rose and that Preston Hollow clique. You know what I'm saying? Them dudes, there, boy, and one of them that I know of, I think two of them, the Lord took on home, but Alfred. We call him Bag. I can't remember Alfred's last name off the top of my head, but Alfred was one of the coolest cats and one of the first ones to befriend me because at the time during the summer months, he was trying out for he was participating in the football with me, and I had played against Alfred when I was playing with the St. John Panthers and back in St. John Parish, and he was at Morgan Gym, and we call him Bag. So and he was just one of the coolest cats. He was one of the first cats I knew. So it was kind of cool to meet somebody who I knew who was already from down there. But I met him on the football field, and needless to say, it wasn't a pleasant it wasn't a pleasant meeting that we had when we met. But we remembered each other, and we befriended each other from that. So again, guys, this is a culture shock, and again, a lot of my negative experiences revolved around my black community, my black peers. You know, just because I was from a place that didn't get along with the current place that I was at. Um, Jerry Clay, man. I would never forget Jerry Clay. I still tell stories about Jerry and how Jerry used to wear a Kango with a polo, and I forgot the kind of jeans he wear, but from his Kango to his shirt to his jeans to his shoes, they all match. I remember one day, I can see it as clear. I remember one day Jerry came to school. He had a green Kango, whatever kind of green polo shirt he had on, with some green jeans, and he had some green bellies on to match it. That was the coolest cat I ever met. And this is my freshman year, and these guys was fighting my friends from St. John Parish. And what's up, D? What's up, Mace? What's going on, D? Yeah, man, what's going on? It's just as cool as could be. You had I can't remember all their names, but got another one. Oh, at the tip of my tongue. But anyway, guys. So I became friends with a lot of the guys, but I had some negative experiences, and a lot of those experiences kind of went above what it could have been simply because I was upset because I couldn't play football. So not only was it a true culture shock as far as the things that I was experiencing from black kids, but it was a true shock. It was more of a shock because I had to that I decided to go through it, knowing that I couldn't play football. But the thing about it is, for all the negative things I experienced that freshman year, I had football to unleash my frustration out, which helped me to make a name for myself. And I'm looking at the time and I see, and I'm not gonna try to tell the entire story, so I'm telling bits and pieces, and I'm gonna come back with episode 3 and give some more details. But one of the stories I'm gonna share as I close that's very significant. There was one time, and for the most part, I'm not gonna say a lot of names out of respect for those individuals because this is not about drama, even though it's my life. But one of the things I experienced was having a senior wanting to fight me because he thought I liked his girlfriend, and she was also a senior. And so, and I heard about this here, but I didn't worry about it. But one day, as I close, but one day, this guy was from St. Rose. That's all I'm gonna say. And one day, when the bus from St. Rose showed up, all the black boys from St. Rose walked into the school at Destrehan High School wearing all black with Zulu beads on. Now, I'm at school early in the morning because I had to catch a ride from St. John Parish to Muntz, Sarpy to the high school. So I'm at the school very early. And when the bus pulled in, all these guys walked into the school wearing all black with Zulu beads, and the guy who wasn't liking me at the time, he was leading the pack. So I'm against the library wall and stuff, looking at him like this, me and my cousin Vance. And so they when we hung out at, they made it like a loop. They we went to their lockers and put this stuff up. And for you guys who are familiar with Destrehan High School, I'm against the library. They went all the way around, and they like made like a circle. You know, you know how it is when people think a fight about to start or whatnot. People started coming around, so they made a circle walking around, and came back in front of me twice. A whole group of black boys from St. Rose. And one of the things that upset me the most was I had some of my close friends who are my close friends to this day from St. Rose was in that circle. And so I was mad at those guys because they was with this foolishness. But check this out. So the third time when they got ready to come make that loop around me, all the football coaches came stood in front of me. So I have a group, and I'm closing, I have a group of black boys from St. Rose. Kind of like not circling me, but circling in front of me. All black boys wearing all black with Zulu beads on. It was cool now. But then I had 4 white coaches who came stood in front of me, like protecting me. Made a wall in front of me. You know what I'm saying? And it was the head coach, because wherever the head coach, Coach Simon was, he had assistant coaches with him. And they came stood in front of me. And my cousin Vance was like, how come they stood in front of you, but they didn't stand in front of me? You know what I'm saying? So once again, guys, I'm going to shut down episode 2, a true culture shock, and I'm going to continue in episode 3. But in closing, leaving one location to go to another location might not be the best for everyone. And that's why I said once before that it's important to pray and ask God to lead you and guide you in making your decision as a parent. Talk to your kids and understand that when you do go through the proper steps, the proper channels to make a move, understand the mission that you're on, because that mission is going to keep you focused through all the drama that you will face. I don't know what it's going to be. You might not face nothing, but we all know how this world is. Because you have to go through something in order to get to where you want to be. Nothing in life comes for free, especially as teenagers at the high school level. So guys, that's my story for today. Thank you for your time. And as usual, God bless, and I'll see you next time. D. Mason from DM Productions. Peace.